Hello, hello. Greetings, everyone. All right, just getting my stream set there. Hi, everybody. I'm Rachel Chase. Today is August 11th, 2022. And I could not pass up the opportunity to do a dedication video to honor this moment of the full moon in Aquarius. Hello, goddess. Thank you for joining. Those of you who end up watching this later, feel free to participate in the comments as well. So every month I do a new moon visioning circle, and I've been doing that since 2015. It started out as a live in-person event in Orlando, Florida, where I would go to different yoga studios and healing art spaces and nature, and we would get together every new moon and energize our intentions, because new moons are about planting seeds and starting, beginning. And full moons are about celebrating and honoring and reveling. And this full moon today is a powerful moment. And I feel like I keep saying that again and again and again, and maybe you do too, because we live in powerful times. And so last month I did a full moon self-compassion circle where we had, I don't remember how many, I think it was like 12 to 15 women. And we were on Zoom together sharing our stories about what we're releasing or what we're shedding, what we're letting go of. And a lot of times that's what a full moon is about too. Letting go, shedding, releasing. Because we have this powerful solar energy that's shining its light on the moon and creating this big energy that we can just surrender to. And sometimes it's hard to surrender. And so the full moon ceremony we did last month was a closed circle, and it was about sharing our stories. And it was so important for us to do that last month because, and I know that we will do it again and again and again. This is not the only time that we're going to do that together. But this month, I've been so busy this week, and I know that being live together is very fruitful and healing to hear each other's stories. So I'm sorry I wasn't able to make that happen and bring that together for us this month, but at least we can do this. I've been super busy this week with lots of client sessions, which is amazing, and I'm so grateful that my business is flourishing, and that those that can come to me can get that support, and that we can support each other. And so I wanted to at least get this in here, and it really just dawned on me yesterday to make this video. And I thought, okay, let's make it really a transmission. And why a transmission? Well, here I am right now. My husband and I are staying for the month out near Mount Rainier, and its native name is Tahoma. So I'm going to refer to her as Tahoma today. And we went on a hike up in the area called Paradise, and it was a 7-mile hike, and it takes you, first you have to drive all the way up to a certain elevation, probably about maybe 5,000 feet, not sure, and then you hike up another maybe couple thousand feet, and you find yourself up 7,000 feet up with a view above a mountain range, and what is rising above those is Mount Adams, Mount St. Helens, and the rest of Mount Rainier, or the rest of Tahoma, which is another 7,000 plus feet up. And when you're in those energies way up there, it is so special. the connection. Have you ever been up on a hike? Have you ever been to the Rocky Mountains? Have you ever been to the Alps? Have you ever been to the top of a mountain, where you're looking down and you see it all? And it's that sense of perspective. It's that sense of the big picture. And it's also that sense of feeling super connected to the spiritual energies, the cosmic realms, and your connection with everything as a soul, as a being of the universe. Have you ever had that experience? And if you haven't, please give yourself the opportunity to experience that by going out in nature, finding a trail, finding some water, and sitting and immersing yourself in that space and tuning in with the energies of Mother Nature, and let them come into you so that you can tap into the fact and the sense and the feeling that you are that too. And so this full moon, this Leo, Sun, Moon, Aquarius moment happens during a time every year that we call Lionsgate, and we get this term and this knowledge from ancient Egypt. And I don't have all the exact details down pat in my mind about it, but what I understand it to be is that in many indigenous cultures, Sirius, the Sirius constellation, the Sirius star group, Sirius is known to be, said to be in many creation myths around the world that we don't really hear about in school, to be our spiritual home, to be where we came from, to be a source of where we can retrieve and connect with and receive knowledge, wisdom, and energy, power, and strength. And each year, as we cycle through time, time, we may look at it from this linear perspective because of the patriarchal social conditioning that has been overlaid onto the natural conditions of the true reality that says everything just kind of goes around and around and around. But it doesn't just go around and around and around. We don't just have the months and the years and the endings and the beginnings. We actually have a spiral of time, because what the ancients knew and what we're coming to remember is that there's actually a space called the time out of time that happens in July. And then we go into the Lion's Gate, which is where we're going through our new beginning to go up the spiral of time around to the new next cycle of our evolution. So we're ever evolving. And Sirius lining up with our sun and lining up with the earth at this time of year happens when the sun is in Leo. So that's why we call it the Lion's Gate. It's a period of time here from the end of July to around the full moon time. And we mark it by saying Lion's Gate is on the 8-8, because the 8-8 is a marking point to help us remember with that synchronicity, to help us remember 8-8, that we are infinite, right? 8 is the symbol of infinity. And not only are we infinite, but we're creative beings. We're naturally here. We're here to express. And Leo is about self-expression. It's about love. It's about connection. It's about creating. It's about bringing the internal and making it externalized. It's about that fierce energy of powerful love that we have within us. And then Aquarius is where the moon is always at this time. It's always this Leo Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is a different kind of expression, self-expression. It's about our individuation. But it's also, and I love the way that I'm going to sprinkle through some of my favorite astrologers in this talk. Molly McCord is one of my favorite astrologers. She's on YouTube, and she talks about how she sees Aquarius as like a mosaic. And I love that, because the phrase comes to mind that you may have heard: unity in diversity. That we can come together in our uniqueness rather than demonizing each other, vilifying each other, casting anyone out. Anyone, and I mean anyone. We don't want to make anybody an outcast. And that's where we're moving into. And so right now, on an individual level, let me go back. What we're moving into is the age of Aquarius. This concept is there because of the transition of it's called the precession of the equinoxes. That's how we understand that our cosmos is turning and moving through our galaxy, our solar system. Everything's turning and moving, right? And so what we're moving to Earth, we're going through the sign of Pisces, and then we're going through, right? So it's the precession, so we're kind of going backwards. And so we're going into Aquarius. And we're in this pre-dawn phase, and you can think of this idea too. Jessica, hi honey, so glad you're here too. Kaylee, Jessica, hi sister, so glad to have you. Mwah. So your thoughts in the comments are always welcome, because there's some wise women watching. I know wise individuals and men too, probably. I know I work with mostly women, and my circles are always women's circles, but I really wanted to bring this out a little more. So shifting into Aquarius, and Pluto goes into Aquarius next year too. Right now it's going through Capricorn. Well, of course it is. All the systems, all the structures, right? Breaking down of things and the fight back from those structures, trying to keep the hold of it, which is essentially futile because everything changes. They can't do it forever. So we're here now. We spiritual warrior beings are here now to be the seeds, right? I'm not the only one who talks about this. I was really inspired by another one of my favorite astrologers just today, and I listened to his weekly astrology for the soul updates, and you probably have heard of him too, maybe, possibly. Kaypacha, Kaypacha. And he has an astrology for the soul report every week on Wednesdays that he puts out, also on YouTube and Spotify. And I love how he spoke about this is the time for us to get really creative. Take the time in Leo to write, to draw, to paint, to dance, to make music, just for the sake of it. Because we're here to be the creators of the new. And right now, during this particular Lion's Gate, we have so many aspects going on in astrology that I'm not an expert on, but that I tune in with and listen to these wonderful, another favorite astrologer is Pam Gregory on YouTube. She gives amazing teachings all about explaining the big picture of things. And what they all have in common that I love about them is I'm in alignment with this truth that understands that the more we reconnect with nature, the more we can receive the energetic information that we need to get through the challenges, the crises, the darkness, the dark times, and still be able to shine our light within the darkness. And trust and know that as we stay true to our purpose, what is our purpose? To live on purpose. That's your purpose. Live on purpose. Not just unconsciously following whatever the thing they say I should do and just do the thing. That's unconscious. That's not purposeful. That's living according to someone else's agenda, someone else's purpose, contributing energy to them so that they take our power, right? So we're not here to do that. What's up, Vince? So glad you're here. Peace, my friend. Awesome. So I'm talking about this moment in time that is so powerful and it's so important to honor, and it's no accident you're here right now, our creativity, which is our true truth of being. That's who we are. Whatever human you are and you think you're not creative, whatever you are, you're just by existing, you are an activity of creation. So I'm calling this particular video a transmission because, as I said before, being up on the top of Tahoma, being up in the top of the mountain known as Mount Rainier, being up there and tuning in with those energies and having the realization that this is known as the Lion's Gate, the wisdom from ancient Egypt, the Syrian energies aligning with our sun, with our earth. And this is a portal of time where we can tune in with the guidance, downloads, information, energy, strength, and power that we need to receive at this time for the next cycle of our evolution, for the next go around. So we're emerging into newness. There's a lot of other aspects going on, as I said, and one of the aspects has to do with this radical change thing that we're going through right now. When I say aspect, I mean astrological aspects. There's this Mars-Uranus North Node of the Moon conjunction, which I'm not going to talk a lot about because I'm not an expert, but understanding that there's these types of alignments and then there's other alignments going on that are really speaking to as above, so below. It's not like the stars are controlling us, or it's a story. We're playing out a story. And the stars, when we look at them, we can understand our story better. We can understand the patterns and the cycles and the energies better because they are a reflection of us. They're a reflection of what we're going through. And it's all connected. So we're going into this time that is obvious. It's obvious in our world, in our culture, in what's going on, that big shifts and lots of intensity. And so many people I know are really going through it right now. Going through freaking tough times. Really tough times. I haven't used that word in a while. So, let's honor that right now, because my intention is to hold space for our processing, our healing, and our growth, our empowerment. The fact that we're shedding these layers and it can feel scary and so vulnerable. So we can set an intention to step into something and say, okay, I'm calling on that power and energy. I'm receiving it. I'm willing, and I'm stepping into this new. And there's a sense of feeling of like readiness for that. But then also with that is kind of the pushback on that too, right? Like suddenly all the fears and insecurities of our past kind of creep up to say, okay, here's the stuff though that needs to be resolved in order for you to fulfill that mission that you're stepping into, fulfill that intention. Because an intention it's a beginning. And then it's up to us to live out that intention in the face of the challenges of our own growth potential of whatever is we're meeting up against in life and in the world and relationships and others and surprises that come along. So many surprises coming out of nowhere, left field, right? So the medicine of the moment on the spiritual level is to remember that we're here to live in reverence to life itself, to remember that we are in communication, we're in heart space, connection with all of life and nature, and we can draw on that connection for our strength. That's the spiritual medicine of the moment. And the medicine of the moment on our ego human level, so that we can work through those feelings that we have as we process all this stuff and move into the next and move into the next, is forgiveness. Forgiveness. And the activity of forgiveness is again and again and again and again seeking to let go of resentment. Seeking to let go of resentment toward ourselves. So all the ways we beat ourselves up. All the ways we shame ourselves, judge ourselves. I should have done it this way. Why can't I just be like that? Why did that have to happen? I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. Terrible person. I'm so stupid. All that stuff. That internalized self-judgment, self-criticism, that internalized resentment toward ourselves. It is time for us to undo that. If you have not heard of the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, I highly recommend it. It's one of those deceptively simple books where you pick it up and you go, oh, that's interesting. And then some things are kind of like, what? Okay. And you move on. The first time you read, kind of like, yeah, that really hits. Yeah, I get that. And then maybe you pick it up a few years later and it's like, oh, I don't even remember this part. Now this is really speaking to me in a totally different way. And if you've read that book, think about what's the thing that stands out? What do you remember from that book? What do you remember? And then go back and look at it and see if what you remember is what it says. And maybe you'll see other things and go, I don't remember that part. Oh boy, I forgot all about that. And so why I bring it up is because forgiveness and resentment has to do with, why is forgiveness the medicine of the moment? Because the resentments that we have toward ourselves come from the programming and the conditioning and the toxicity of that programming and conditioning that has polluted our minds and falsely imprinted these lies that says that we're supposed to judge ourselves at all. It's this construct of the judge. And so this is just a little talk about the archetype of the judge. The judge is there to keep everybody in line. It's there to tell you what to do. And so often we lean on that judge because we think we don't know what's best for us. So we have to go running to someone, authority, who should tell us what we should do. Because we weren't trained in the beginning to trust our inner knowing. I know this video is getting a little longish. Nope, we're okay. We're right on time. Don't want to make it too long. But now let me get to the other layer of forgiveness, which is to forgive others too, right? To forgive the unconscious carrying out of the paradigm of judgment that has been perpetuated for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years. Now, it doesn't mean that there hasn't been harm inflicted on us by others and that we're not making that behavior okay, but this is the process of creating healthy boundaries, identifying what our needs are, what we need for ourselves, and then acting accordingly to what those needs are and abiding by upholding those needs for ourselves. And part of that, in order for us to do that with others in a way that is constructive, is to learn how to forgive them in the process of having a healthy boundary with how you relate with them, with how often you talk to them, if ever again, or if there's another dynamic that needs to be played out, and how we're speaking up for ourselves and letting people know what's okay, what's not okay, and that you deserve, everybody deserves, the word deserve is silly anyways, but you deserve respect from them. And on the same token, we deserve respect for ourselves. So, the transmission. I want to go into this receptivity space with you now, where we are receiving together you can call them light codes, you can call it spiritual energy, you can call it, maybe even for you, it's more of a tone or a sound, or just a color, even feeling a sense of vibration, or maybe it's something that you hear, like a voice. Maybe it's just a sense of being super connected with your essence. And the intention behind this, I love that Kaylee put "be impeccable with thy word" in the chat, because what does it mean to be impeccable with thy word? Impeccable means to speak the truth. And the truth is love. The truth is kindness. The truth is compassion. The truth is that there's no judge here. The truth is we're all part of nature here. The truth is that we're all one. And being impeccable with your word, with yourself, is finding your way to speak in a way that you're not belittling yourself in any way. To speak in a way that does not dim your light or dim another's light. To speak in a way that honors what you need and what you desire and what your soul is about. Anything that goes against that is false. So I want us to tune in with this receptivity in order to support us in doing just that, in expressing our truth, even as we're trying to figure out what that is, maybe. Maybe we don't always know what our truth is because we're still uncovering it from all those layers of conditions and social programming that has gotten in the way of our ability to connect with our truth. So we're shedding layer after layer after layer, and new things are happening, and the world is breaking down around us, and more power and control is trying to be exerted onto us as we continue to be that plant that grows out of the concrete and becomes strong and vital no matter what, because it knows what it is as a creation, as an expression of life, nature itself. So take a couple of breaths with me now as we go into a little meditation to honor this Lion's Gate as we shift out of it in the next couple of days, as we spiral around the evolution of our growth, as we go into this new, because we're becoming new. See yourself radiant. See yourself as this light. See yourself as a subtle body of energy. The more we can identify with ourselves as energy, the more we can connect with the energies that we need that might be on the other side of the universe, that might be in another dimension of time and space. And we can draw upon that and connect in with that and retrieve our own power into ourselves, to fortify and to strengthen and to nourish our solar plexus in our body, which is the way that we can connect with our divine will, the will that perpetuates our remembrance of who we are in oneness, which is the truth of our being. See that you are this radiant being, and that everything that you do, everything that you create, everything that you share is a contribution to the creation of this beautiful new world we know is possible. And I want you to imagine every human being remembering that they are underneath all that social construction programming that's been perpetuated for thousands of years. Underneath that is an indigenous, human, cosmic being that is these people, all of us, that we're waking up to remember that we are literally made up of all the energies from all the star systems, from all the planets, from all the universes, and it's all inside of us, and we can connect with that. That's this thing that we can come back to again and again when we look out in the world and see all this muck and mire. We can remember that in them is that too, because they are also the soul. I love that, Vince. Wish them well no matter what you think of other people, no matter what you think they think of you. It's a Rush lyric. I love Rush. That, man, the band Rush, talk about channeling. If you've never listened to the lyrics of Rush, the band, and you're thinking, oh, that's just that band way back then, read their lyrics, my friends. This is what we're talking about, the universal truth for those who wish to see. So we are those who wish to see. Now, there are many that are afraid to see because then it might just rock their world too far, man. And that's okay. They don't want to lose their identity. Their ego structures are, how they keep themselves safe. And it's unfortunate, it's sad, because then there's all this defense mechanisms and harm and hurt, and boy, oh boy, oh boy. But here's the thing, so many of us, and I am so heartened to see that so many people are seeking support, are reaching out. I get appointments all the time on my calendar now from amazing people who are saying, I'm ready to look at this, to work through it, to process it, to do the things I need to do, to meditate, to do my yoga, to get out in nature, to address, acknowledge the pain, acknowledge, yes. When those things come up, what do I do when I'm trying to keep my vibration high? That question keeps coming so much. How do I keep my vibration, my frequency, my consciousness elevated? Just because the old stuff comes back up doesn't mean you're not elevated. It just means it's a feeling, it's a sensation, and it's an emotion that's here to be felt, acknowledged, validated, and released. That's the process of transmutation. And you don't just do it once. It's not like, I'm all transmuted now and I'm all good and that's all I got to do. No, sorry. We have to transmute over and over and over because this is this time that we're in as human beings in the darkness before the dawn of the next age. And I know. Whew, it's a lot of work. But this Lion's Gate, this is not the only time to tune into that, the revelations and the inspirations and the energies that we need and bring the strength in, but it's a potent time to do it. And it's going to help support you. So I invite you to today, this full moon, it peaks, I think, at around 6:30 Pacific time this evening. Go out into the light of the moon tonight, even if it's cloudy where you are. Go outside. Next few days, get out in nature. Go be by some water. Get on the trail. Go to the ocean. Sit in your yard. If you live in the city and there's just a little sliver, touch the sliver of the leaf that's growing out of the ground. touch the ground, get in a bathtub, connect with the elements, light a candle, whatever your ritual is, and sit in that space and intend to receive the power, strength, energy, insight, inspiration that you need to nourish your system and bring it down with your mind. Your mind is a powerful, powerful, powerful thing. And your heart is even more powerful. Your heart mind is the most powerful energy force in the universe. Take a moment right now. Let's connect with the heart mind. Bring your mind and your heart into coherence and trust and know that you have the wisdom within you to handle, to get through, to process, to heal anything, everything. And as we do this for ourselves, we're doing this for each other, and that energy is spread out over the entire world and is moving into the minds, hearts, souls, beings, bodies of everyone everywhere. It's going into the plants, animals, waterways, the consciousness of Mother Earth. She is celebrating us. She is loving us. And maybe you have an image come to mind that is a gift that you need to receive right now. And let yourself receive that. And that is an activity of compassion. For those of you who say, I don't know how to show myself compassion, that's it right there, what you're doing. Okay, I want to pull an oracle card for us from this deck that I thought was next to me, but isn't, so let me grab it. From this lovely moon deck, how appropriate. And I will be doing more of these videos. Please share this video with friends. I'm going to build up my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. And like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you know anyone that could benefit from the messages in this video, please share with them. I appreciate it. Okay, let's just pull one card here to close our session right now. A card of inspiration for each and every one of us that speaks to your intentions for yourself at this time and speaks to the collective. And our card is, oh wow, and not every card has a full moon on it, but this one does. And it says, I am ready. Thank you. And isn't that a great reminder to say thank you? To say thank you. And what is she doing? She's just leaping, baby. There she goes. She's dancing. She's letting go. She is trusting. She's looking straight ahead. And she's giving herself to life. I am ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Thank you. And thank you is the magic formula to receive what you need to support you as you live on purpose. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being in this beautiful community. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for connection and love and honoring. And I'm sending you all so much love and respect and gratitude and blessings. Happy, happy full moon, everyone. And I'll see you. See you soon. See you next time. Bye-bye.